Yo, what is going on, guys and girls? Twintendo here, back again with another Super Mystery Dungeon video. Now, the release date is getting really close. I think it's out on the 17th in Japan. My copy arrives on the 18th, hopefully that'll play. So I'm going to try and cover as much as I can about Super Mystery Dungeon. So if you guys have any suggestions that you want me to make a video on, definitely comment down below. And before we get into the video, I want to thank you guys for supporting our channel because we actually hit 4,000 subscribers the other day. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, and compared to bigger channels it isn't, but for someone who literally, we only had probably 1,500 subscribers like 3 months ago, this is awesome, and our channel can only go further pretty much, so thank you so much. There's so many people I could thank, but I'd literally be here for hours, so we won't go into that, we'll just go straight into the video. And question of the day, guys, since this video is all about bosses, I just want to know if you could pick one Pokemon or a group of Pokemon to be a boss in Super Mystery Dungeon, who would you pick? I definitely go for Arceus. We've never had Arceus in a Mystery Dungeon game before, so I would, well, we know it's in this one because we've seen clips of it, but really want to verse it, and it would just be awesome. I can imagine it having an amazing battle music. So that's my pick. Again, like I said, you can pick groups of Pokemon, any Pokemon, but yeah. Let's go into this video, guys, and this is kind of a discussion video, so it's not like based on a lot of facts. There are a few facts in there about definite bosses, but this is more a speculation video. So as we know, if you've ever played a Mystery Dungeon game, like 90% of legendaries are recruited through like boss type missions. And this video is about boss, Pokemon boss battle, but these bosses, they're going to relate to the main story. So, post-story bosses like you have in Blue Red Rescue Team, like getting the other legendaries and Explorers of Time down in the sky, they're not the ones I'm really talking about in this one because they're not really pivotal to the story. So let's just think about back to a trailer that we got on the 24th of August, so 5 days ago. We got a 30-second little trailer and it showed like 12 panels of legendary Pokemon at the end. Now for me, 2 of these panels, they're definitely not going to be bosses. So 1 is Deoxys and 2 is Latios and Latias. Now the reason I say this, Deoxys is in space and it honestly seems to be kind of worried about the planet, and it says like it's been talking about how the Earth's facing global crisis. We've seen it on an asteroid or a meteorite, and it seems to be with Mega Ray Quasar destroying the asteroid in one of the trailers that we saw. So for me, it's definitely a Pokemon that's going to be helping you out. Now we actually did see it inside of a dungeon as an enemy with a red ring around it, basically. For me, that's definitely summoned by Hooper because it's actually inside the dungeon. It's not like at the end of a dungeon, it's definitely just on a random floor. So for me, that is definitely probably the only way you can recruit Deoxys through Hooper, but it's definitely not a boss Pokemon per se. And Latios and Latias, they're flying away. Compared to every other legendary on these kind of 12 panels, they're not like in places that could be battled, and we actually do see them fall out the sky in another trailer. I personally think they've been turned to stone, others don't. It's fair enough, that's still up for debate, we'll just have to wait and see for that. But for me, they're definitely not going to be a boss battle. Most likely you're going to have to help them out. So the other 10 panels have potential to have boss Pokemon. Now I say Pokemon as in plural because Zekrom and Reshiram are together. Honestly, don't know if that's going to be a tag team battle. And these could just be cutscenes for just, the Pokemon preparing to fight. It might not be fighting us, it could be fighting, whoever's the main villain. But like I said, that's why I'm not 100% that these are boss battles, but it's most likely because we see Ho-Oh, Primal Groudon, and Giratina, who have, confirmed boss battles because we've seen images and clips of them, and they've got their own cutscenes there. Although Giratina's form is different in this cutscene, like this little, panel, so I'm not sure if you have to verse Giratina twice, or that's definitely going to be interesting. Maybe its origin form is post-story, so it does definitely support the fact that there's definitely going to be some legendaries boss battles, but the thing is with Giratina having 2 forms, and it looks like it has 2 cutscenes, we don't know whether that's post-story. We definitely know the standard Giratina form is early on in the game because we're level 14, and it's likely that boss battle will be pivotal to the main story, but we don't know if the origin form one will. So like I said, we can't tell if these other panels are important to the plot. So let's just talk about potential bosses, and this is where it gets interesting because there's no wrong or right answer here. So you guys, if you've got any potential bosses you want to talk about, comment down below if you think there's a certain Pokemon that will be a boss in the game. So I'm going to talk about, first of all, let's just think about Pancham and Shelmet, probably an early boss. I doubt they're going to be the rival team in this game, but I feel like because they're obviously the bullies of the school, we're probably going to clash at some point, and it's probably going to be early on because they're not even that important. Krokorok might be a boss. Now, Krokorok is probably, for me, the most interesting Pokemon on this list because we saw quite a while ago Weasel and your team look really angry at Krokorok, and we don't know why. And then we see in a later trailer, well, one we got recently, your team's actually with Krokorok and you get stampeded by the exploration team or expedition team. And for me, that we don't know if, that's after you joined the expedition team or that's, before. And we don't know, your relationship with Krokorok. It could be like similar to Drowsy and Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky, kind of it starts off bad and then becomes good. Or it could be the other way around, we think they're good and then they're actually bad. So that's definitely an interesting Pokemon. And then, there is a potential of a rival team that we don't know. We haven't seen the rival team yet, and there might not even be one, but potential one I'm just going to look at is Pawniard, Muck, and Scrafty. Now, the reason I talk about these Pokemon, they were shown off in a trailer like a long time ago, and, they just skimmed through the connection all really fast, like loads of Pokemon, and I spotted these Pokemon, and they're, the dark, the poison types, which are kind of normally the fit for being, a rival team. Now, for me, they'd be a fine rival team. I thought they'd have a 6th generation Pokemon in there, because they normally do in the rival teams. They normally have a generation that's relevant, the newest generation, but it still could be possible. Now, the only reason I doubt this kind of, you got Muck and Scrafty, and they're both like, their last evolutions. They're the final evolutions of their Pokemon. You'd think Pawniard would be a Bisharp, so it's possible that they're a rival team, but it's also unlikely at the same time, so I don't know. Another potential boss I'd want to talk about is we get to see 3 Poliwraths like coming down in a trailer. We don't know if that's going to be just like an altercation, maybe we talk it out in a cutscene, or that's going to be a boss battle. And is that going to be pivotal to the plot? It might just be a connection or mission at the end of the day, so I doubt that one's going to be pivotal to the plot, but it's still pretty interesting that we're going to have to face 3 Poliwraths. But guys, that's pretty much it. Obviously there's going to be loads of bosses in this game and ones that are pivotal to the story that we don't know about yet. So guys, if you have any in mind, definitely comment down below. And remember, question of the day, if you could pick any Pokemon or group of Pokemon to be a boss in a game, who would you have? I said Arceus. Definitely comment down below, we'll start a discussion up. And yeah, as I said guys, I'm going to try and upload daily for Super Mystery Dungeon videos till the Japanese release date. So that's 19 days left. So if you haven't subscribed already, you can expect around 19 more Super Mystery Dungeon videos to come out. So there's a big red button on screen or down below. Pick whichever you want, click that and you'll subscribe to our channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, definitely hit the like button, really helps out the channel. And if you haven't seen our 2 previous videos, they're going to be on screen right now. On the left hand side is 5 minutes of gameplay for Super Mystery Dungeon. This is so interesting. There's a lot of hidden things in there, so definitely check that one out. Lots of cool stuff. And on the right hand side guys, you can see an unboxing of the Elite Trainer Box for Ancient Origins. It's really fun doing these TCG stuff. I know they're not as supported as the Super Mystery Dungeon stuff, but I'm going to try and build a fan base of Pokemon trading card game fans. So I'll definitely be uploading more in the future, so stay tuned. And guys, hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, have an awesome day and I will see you on our next one.